What is up, folks at home? Welcome back to the channel. The ice is finally leaving. Today we are heading underwater for the new Berkley Flux Gill. We got a bunch of these rigged up. We're gonna give you our first impression of this bait underwater. We've been waiting a long time to do this review, but got them all rigged up different ways. We are gonna head underwater and evaluate what this bait looks like underwater. Let's go. So folks, when you consider soft plastics and their action, there are two kind of groups they fall into. One, an action-based soft plastic, and two, a profile-based soft plastic. And the Flux Gill here is a profile-based soft plastic. It's not going to have a lot of action. The action that it has is secondary because it comes from you imparting action on the bait. And what we see here is I got the 5.3 inch version because I wanted to directly compare it to the G-Crack America Bellows Gill. And this bait functions a lot like it, but it doesn't have as much water profile. I think the best way to fish this bait, just looking at the underwater, is going to be Texas rigged weightless. Here we have a 6.0 hook on it because I have found that the bigger hook makes it fall slightly faster and has a lot more sticking power. With a 5-inch bait, you want a hook that has some meat to it that will stand up to those bigger fish and bigger bites that you get. Plus, fish tend to inhale these type of baits, so the first way I'm going to fish this is weightless, right? The smaller version you can throw on a spinning rod or a casting rod on a smaller hook, but this is the #1 way I believe this bait is going to shine. Up next, I put it on a swivel head jig, and I like this presentation because it looks like a bluegill that is struggling on the bottom. Now, you've seen sunfish that are wounded or hurt. If they're not floating on top, they're kind of trying to stay glued to the bottom, and this is what that bait kind of gives that vibe of. Literally, when we're talking about a profile bait, we're talking about the side profile, and if you've seen a wounded bluegill, they tend to swim on their side, so this bait really stacks up nicely like that. It's a bait a lot like a panorama, which you have to rig correctly in order to catch a lot of fish. This is going to be a user not friendly soft plastic style because a lot of guys are going to try to rig this vertically and suffer from that. This is a horizontally rigged bait. This is a bait that you have to fish in specific ways to make it thrive. Now, if you do that, it's going to thrive. If you don't do that, it's going to suffer. Here we have a unpegged Texas rig, and once again, this is where this bait is going to thrive. The free sliding weight on it is going to allow it to get you to different depths, and the deeper the water, the more separation you're going to get between this bait and the weight. So this is, we're fishing a deep weed edge in 15, 16 feet of water. This is where that bait's going to have that nice spiral death fall, and the max scent is a very, very, very good thing that triggers largemouth bass. Whatever it is, smallmouth bass love it too, but cold water largemouth will absolutely chew max scent baits. Smallmouth love it all year around. They will absolutely chew max scent baits, but the max scent tube has been a big player for me, and this one just has enough action to not really necessitate a change. This is the second best way that I found to rig it, which is Neko rigging it, and it looks splendid Neko rigged because it looks like a bluegill that is feeding on insects on the bottom. If you've ever watched fish feed on the bottom, they kind of get that tail up posture and they pick through dirt and sand, and the holes in this bait allow it to really kind of stir up things like a bluegill. Its water disturbance profile is going to look like a bluegill. I have a feeling this is going to be a really good bed fishing bait, right? Or at least a profile that's going to make bedded bass super angry, and that's one of the things that's also going to make it shine. I think this is going to be a great bait to skip under docks Neko rigged. Now, the bad part is you can't really hook any kind of keeper onto this bait simply because, it's a big profile bait, so that's going to eat at your ability to kind of not burn through baits and Neko rigs. But this is one of those baits where you're skipping under docks in clear water or you're fishing bedded bass. That's really going to be a advantage for you to be able to Neko rig this bait and generate bites when otherwise you wouldn't get any. Kind of the third way that I've found to break down this bait and rig it is on a jig head. Dumb worming, once again, I've got on the ebb and flow upgrade jig. This is going to be really nice on hard spots or deep rock veins where you really want to present a bait on the bottom. I'm also going to throw this one up shallow in the pre-spawn against seawalls where that rock edge is, because that clicking of that bait on the bottom really gets you a lot of bites. And this is a big profile bait, so those big bass that move up into that dirty water, you have a big profile here that they will see. Not so much action, but profile becomes important in that pre-spawn phase. So really excited about this Maxent Flux Gill. I think it's going to be hard to rig sometimes, but it's really going to catch them in different situations. So guys, looking at the Flux Gill underwater, our top way to rig this bait is obviously weightless. The same thing with the bellows gill. The weightless version of this is going to fall through that water column and get bit. It's going to be skipped under docks, floated around cover, twitched over weed beds. That's just the #1 way that we're probably going to fish the Flux Gill, especially this bigger size. With that 6.0 extra wide gap hook on there, it's going to be a nice hookup ratio, nice hook to land. The second way I'm probably going to fish this the most is probably straight up Texas rigged with that 4/0 worm hook or that 4/0 straight shank hook. Right there. This bait is not going to be exceptional at coming through weeds. It's got too many holes in it. It's got too much of a water profile coming through, but Texas rigged is going to be nice. Stupid rigged on a jig head, that ebb and flow upgrade jig head is going to be nice on hard spots or where there's feeding bluegill around, because it's going to be nose down. That nose down posture is key. Really like the green pumpkin color in this. Neko rigged, this is going to be really nice, skipping around docks, different places like that. Once again, this is going to be literally a bait that is very much profile dependent. This is a profile, not action dependent bait. I can't wait to drop shot this also. It was super cold underwater today, so we didn't get a lot of footage of that, but drop shot, bubba shot, this bait could perform in a lot of different ways. Guys, if there's baits that you want to see in the future, let us know. We will get those filmed. We will get some underwater comparison. Our goal moving forward at this point, after our 100 tips and tricks series, is to really get a ton of underwater comparison to help you make that judgment call on what baits are going to work for you in what situation. So guys, thanks for hanging out with us today. Thanks for believing in the channel. The 100-day series was huge for us. It helped growth massively. So we look forward to the spring and summer coming up. We'll catch you next time. Thanks for hanging out.